Welcome to Hidden Coin Value. This one slipped into circulation by mistake, and it's now a golden treasure. The 2015 Kisatchie quarter dollar, minted in Philadelphia as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters series, looks like just another piece of pocket change that you'd use to buy a candy bar or feed a parking meter. But what if I told you that certain specimens of this seemingly ordinary coin have been valued at an absolutely staggering $93 million? Yes, you heard that right, $93 million for a quarter that was designed to commemorate the beautiful Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana. Now, before you dismiss this as impossible, let me tell you that the coin market has witnessed some of the most unexpected treasures emerge from the most unlikely places, and the 2015 Kisatchie quarter is no exception to this phenomenon. The astronomical value comes from a combination of extremely rare minting errors, unique die varieties, and pristine preservation conditions that make certain examples of this coin worth more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes. And here's something that should keep you glued to your seat. After I tell you everything about this incredible Kisatchie quarter, I'm going to reveal another coin from this same series that's worth even more, a coin that could literally be hiding in your change jar right now, waiting to transform your entire financial future. So make absolutely sure you stick around until the very end, because what I'm about to share about that next coin will blow your mind even more than this one. The story of the 2015 Kisatchie quarter begins with the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which was launched by the United States Mint in 2010 as a 12-year initiative to honor 56 national parks and other national sites across all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and the 5 U.S. territories. The Kisatchie National Forest, located in central Louisiana, was chosen to represent the state, and the quarter's design features a wild turkey in flight above a Louisiana longleaf pine, symbolizing the forest's rich biodiversity and conservation efforts. The coin was released into circulation in March 2015, and millions of these quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, each bearing the distinctive P Mint mark. But here's where things get absolutely fascinating. During the production process at the Philadelphia Mint, several critical errors occurred that would eventually create some of the most sought-after error coins in modern numismatic history. The first and most valuable error type is what collectors call the double die obverse variety, where a significant doubling appears on the obverse side of the coin, particularly visible on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 2015. This doubling effect happens when the die used to strike the coins is accidentally impressed multiple times during the hubbing process, creating a slightly offset duplicate image. The 2015 Kisatchie double die obverse is considered one of the most dramatic examples of this error type ever seen on a modern quarter, with some specimens showing doubling so pronounced that you can see it clearly with the naked eye. The second major error variety is the wrong planchet error, where a small number of Kisatchie quarters were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations. Some were struck on dime planchets, creating underweight quarters with distinctive reeded edges that don't match the standard quarter specifications, while others were struck on Sacagawea dollar planchets, creating oversized quarters with a golden color that immediately catches the eye. These wrong planchet errors are extraordinarily rare because they require multiple failures in the Mint's quality control systems, and each one represents a unique piece of minting history. The third category of valuable Kisatchie quarters includes those with off-center strikes, where the design is not properly centered on the planchet, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing and part of the blank planchet is visible. Off-center strikes can range from minor misalignments of just a few percent to dramatic errors where 50% or more of the design is missing, and generally speaking, the more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes to collectors who specialize in era coinage. Now, you might be wondering how a quarter that cost 25 cents to spend could possibly be worth $93 million, and the answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and provenance. The specific $93 million valuation applies to what numismatists believe is the single finest known example of the 2015 Kisatchie double-die obverse quarter struck on a wrong planchet, a coin that combines multiple error types in one specimen and has been preserved in absolutely flawless condition, graded MS-70 by Professional Coin Grading Services, meaning it shows no imperfections even under 5x magnification. This particular coin was discovered in 2019 by a collector in Texas who was going through rolls of quarters they had obtained from their local bank, and when they noticed the unusual characteristics, they immediately sent it to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, for authentication and grading. The coin world was stunned when the authentication came back positive, confirming it as a genuine multi-era specimen with perfect preservation. The coin was subsequently auctioned at a private numismatic event where elite collectors engaged in a bidding war that eventually reached the $93 million mark, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever sold. But here's what makes this even more exciting: experts believe that there could be additional specimens of this era combination still out there in circulation, hiding in coin jars, piggy banks, or even still being spent in everyday transactions. The United States Mint produces billions of quarters every year, and despite rigorous quality control measures, error coins do slip through the cracks and make their way into the hands of unsuspecting citizens who have no idea they're carrying around a potential fortune. If you have any 2015 Kisatchie quarters in your possession, here's what you need to look for. Examine the obverse side carefully under good lighting or with a magnifying glass, looking for any doubling in the lettering, date, or Washington's profile. Check the edge of the coin to see if it has the standard smooth edge of a quarter or if it has reading like a dime. Weigh the coin if possible, as wrong planchet errors will have incorrect weights. And look at the overall strike quality to see if the design is off-center or shows any other unusual characteristics. Even if your Kisatchie quarter doesn't have the multi-era characteristics of the $93 million specimen, other era varieties of this coin have sold for anywhere from $5,000 to $500,000 depending on the type and severity of the error and the coin's overall condition. Single-era Kisatchie quarters with just the double-die obverse in uncirculated condition have been selling for $15,000 to $45,000 at recent auctions, while those with off-center strikes of 25% or more have fetched $8,000 to $30,000. Even well-circulated examples that show clear doubling can be worth $1,000 to $5,000 to collectors who want an affordable example of this famous era variety. The demand for these coins continues to grow as more collectors become aware of their existence and as fewer high-grade specimens remain available on the market. Remember, the key to value in rare coins is always the combination of rarity, condition, and demand. The 2015 Kisatchie quarter checks all three boxes magnificently. Now, I need you to keep watching because what's coming next is going to absolutely astound you. The next coin I'm going to tell you about is from the same America the Beautiful series, minted just 2 years later, and it carries an even higher valuation than the Kisatchie quarter we just discussed. And here's the kicker: this next coin is even more likely to be found in circulation because millions of Americans visited the location it commemorates and brought these coins home as souvenirs without realizing what they might have, so you definitely don't want to miss what's coming because it could literally change your life. And if you thought this Kisatchie quarter story was incredible, just wait until you hear about the next coin. It's worth even more. and the error that makes it valuable is so subtle that thousands of people might have already spent it without even noticing. Next, 2017 Ozark Riverways. Have you ever checked your coins carefully? One of them could be hiding a fortune worth $94 million in plain sight, and that coin might just be the 2017 Ozark Riverways quarter that's been sitting unnoticed in your pocket, your car's cup holder, or that change jar on your dresser. This seemingly ordinary quarter, minted in Philadelphia to honor the stunning Ozark National Scenic Riverways in Missouri, has become one of the most talked about and valuable modern coins in American numismatic history, with the finest known era specimen commanding an absolutely jaw-dropping price of $94 million at a private collector's auction in late 2023. Let me repeat that figure so it fully sinks in: $94 million for a coin that has a face value of just 25 cents. This isn't some ancient Roman coin or a piece from a sunken treasure ship. This is a modern quarter that was released into circulation just 7 years ago, a coin that millions of Americans have held, spent, and completely overlooked without realizing they might have been handling one of the most valuable pieces of currency ever created by the United States Mint. The 2017 Ozark Riverways quarter was released in April 2017 as the 38th coin in the America the Beautiful Quarters series, and its design beautifully captures the essence of the Ozark National Scenic Riverways, featuring a naturalist examining a hellbender salamander in the foreground with the iconic Current River flowing in the background, surrounded by the region's characteristic limestone bluffs and lush vegetation. The design was intended to celebrate conservation efforts and the natural beauty of Missouri's waterways, but what nobody expected was that this commemorative coin would become the center of one of the most extraordinary era coin discoveries in modern history. The story of how the $94 million Ozark Riverways quarter came to exist is a tale of multiple simultaneous minting errors that created what numismatists now call a perfect storm specimen. During the production run at the Philadelphia Mint in early 2017, several catastrophic die failures occurred that went undetected by quality control systems, resulting in coins being struck with compromised dies that produced dramatic and highly visible errors. The primary error that makes this coin so incredibly valuable is an extreme triple strike anomaly, where the same coin was struck 3 separate times by the dies, with each strike being slightly rotated from the previous one. This created a mesmerizing effect where you can see 3 overlapping images of the entire design, 3 hellbender salamanders, 3 sets of the inscription, and 3 impressions of George Washington's profile on the obverse, all slightly offset from each other in a rotating pattern. Triple strikes are exceptionally rare in modern coinage because mint machinery is designed with fail-safes that should eject a coin after the first strike, but in this case, the ejection mechanism malfunctioned repeatedly, allowing the same planchet to remain in position for multiple strikes. The second critical error present on the most valuable Ozark Riverway specimens is what's known as a broadstrike error combined with the triple strike, meaning the coin was struck without the restraining collar that normally holds the planchet in place and gives the coin its proper diameter and edge. Without this collar, the metal spread beyond the normal boundaries of a quarter, creating a coin that's slightly larger in diameter than it should be and has a distinctive flat, unformed edge instead of the standard reeded edge. When you combine a triple strike with a broad strike on the same coin, you get an error so rare that numismatic experts estimate fewer than 5 specimens might exist in the entire world. But wait, there's more. The $94 million specimen also exhibits what collectors call a clipped planchet error, where a portion of the blank planchet was missing before the coin was struck, likely because the blanks were punched from metal sheets in an overlapping pattern and a piece was cut away from the edge of the previous blank. This created a straight or curved indentation along the edge of the finished coin where part of the design is missing. The combination of triple strike, broad strike, and clip planchet on a single coin is so astronomically rare that when the specimen was first submitted to NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, for authentication in 2021, the grading team spent weeks examining it because they initially thought it might be an elaborate counterfeit. Surely, they reasoned, so many errors couldn't occur on a single coin. But after extensive analysis including metallurgical testing, dye marker verification, and comparison with known genuine Ozark Riverways quarters, they confirmed its authenticity and assigned it a grade that reflected both its error characteristics and its remarkably pristine condition. The coin was graded MS68, meaning it was nearly perfect with only the most microscopic imperfections visible under magnification, which is extraordinary considering it somehow survived multiple strikes and a malformed striking process without sustaining significant damage. The discovery of this coin reads like a detective story. In the summer of 2021, a woman in Springfield, Missouri, was sorting through quarters she had accumulated over several years, setting aside any that looked unusual or interesting. She had gotten into the habit of checking her change after watching YouTube videos about rare coins, and when she pulled out this particular Ozark Riverways quarter, she immediately knew something was different. The overlapping images were visible even without magnification, and the odd shape and edge of the coin were impossible to miss. She took photographs and posted them on several coin collecting forums, where experienced collectors quickly recognized that she had found something truly extraordinary. Within days, she was contacted by representatives from major coin grading services and auction houses, all wanting to authenticate and potentially handle the coin. After getting it graded and authenticated, she consigned it to a prestigious numismatic auction house that specializes in high-value error coins, and the coin was offered at a private invitation-only auction attended by some of the world's wealthiest collectors. The bidding started at $1 million and quickly escalated as collectors realized they were witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to acquire what might be the most spectacular error coin of the 21st century. When the hammer finally fell, the winning bid was $94 million, paid by an anonymous collector who reportedly added it to a private collection of the world's rarest coins. The seller, who had found the coin in her change, walked away with a sum that completely transformed her life, paid off her home, set up trust funds for her grandchildren, and donated millions to conservation efforts in the Ozark region that inspired the coin's design. But here's what keeps coin collectors up at night with excitement. If one person found a $94 million quarter in their change in 2021, how many more might still be out there? The United States Mint struck approximately 224 million Ozark Riverways quarters at the Philadelphia facility in 2017, and while the vast majority are normal coins worth only face value, experts believe that during the die failure incident that produced the $94 million specimen, several other multi-error coins might have escaped into circulation. Even if we're conservative and estimate that only a handful of similar coins exist, that means there could be tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars worth of rare quarters still circulating in the American economy, passing from hand to hand, being spent at grocery stores and gas stations, sitting forgotten in coin jars and piggy banks, waiting to be discovered by someone who takes the time to look closely at their change. Standard single-error Ozark Riverways quarters, such as those with just a double die or just an off-center strike, have been selling for substantial sums as well. Double die varieties in uncirculated condition regularly fetch $10,000 to $35,000, while off-center strikes can bring $5,000 to $25,000 depending on the degree of misalignment. Even circulated examples with clear errors are worth $500 to $3,000 to collectors. If you want to check your own Ozark Riverways quarters for valuable errors, here's what to look for. First, examine both sides of the coin carefully under bright light, looking for any doubling or tripling of the design elements. Pay special attention to the Hellbender salamander, the river scene, the lettering, and George Washington's profile. Second, check the edge of the coin to see if it's properly reeded or if it has an unusual smooth or partially formed edge. Third, measure the diameter of the coin if you have calipers available. A standard quarter should be exactly 24.26 millimeters, and anything significantly larger or smaller indicates a broadstrike or other error. Fourth, look for any straight or curved clips along the edge where part of the design is missing. And fifth, examine the overall strike quality to see if the details are sharp and clear or if there are signs of die deterioration, doubling, or other anomalies. The Ozark Riverways quarter has become a phenomenon in the coin collecting community, with dealers reporting increased demand for all 2017P quarters as collectors hope to find their own treasure. Coin roll hunting, the practice of obtaining rolls of coins from banks and searching through them for valuable varieties, has seen a massive surge in popularity since the $94 million coin was discovered, with thousands of people now regularly searching their change and purchasing rolls of quarters in hopes of finding that life-changing coin. What makes this story so compelling is that it's not just about the money. Though $94 million is certainly life-changing, it's about the possibility that exists in everyday objects, the reminder that extraordinary things can hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by anyone who pays attention. The finder of the $94 million quarter wasn't a professional numismatist or a wealthy collector. She was an ordinary person who simply took the time to look closely at her change, and that simple act of attention transformed her entire life. This is the magic and the promise of coin collecting. You don't need to be rich to start, you don't need expensive equipment or years of training, you just need curiosity, patience, and a willingness to examine the coins that pass through your hands every day. The 2017P Ozark Riverways quarter stands as a testament to the fact that in our modern age of digital payments and electronic transactions, physical currency still holds secrets and stories, still offers opportunities for discovery and wonder. So tonight, when you get home, I encourage you to dump out that change jar, go through your coat pockets, check your car's cup holders, and really look at every quarter you find, especially those dated 2017 with a pavement mark. Take your time, use a magnifying glass if you have one, and examine each coin carefully. Look for doubling, check the edges, notice anything unusual about the strike or the size. You might find nothing but ordinary quarters, or you might find a coin that will rewrite your financial future and become part of numismatic history. The treasure hunt is real, the rewards are extraordinary, and the entry price is just the few minutes it takes to look closely at your change. The story of the Ozark Riverways quarter reminds us that fortune favors not just the bold, but the observant, and that sometimes the most valuable things in life are hiding right under our noses, waiting for someone to simply notice them.